Cloudless sky, clear skies, temperature in the mid-60s. And again, Candlestick Park is filling up as the 1989 World Series moves along to Game 4. The American League champion A's and the National League champion. Tonight, Willie gets his moment in the late afternoon sun. And Don Robinson goes to the mound for the Giants, often in the World Series by walking Henderson, or at least letting him get on somehow, leading off. And he gets a high fly ball to left field, and that one is carrying, and back goes Mitchell, and it's a launching pad again tonight. And I have to tell you, I've seen a lot of games in this park, and that fooled everybody. But on a winless night, what would be a normal routine fly ball goes out, just like last night, 1-0.
That sets a World Series record as 8 different players hit home runs. Now only Mark McGwire has not homered.
Lansford hits one to center field and right at Butler for the out. So 1 down in the first inning. 13 runs, 14 hits, 5 homers, and again, no designated hitter. Dave Parker on the bench. Popped up a mile high and playable for Will Clark with a lot of room here at Candlestick. 2 down. So Robinson goes 3-0 and then comes back to get Canseco. McGwire wraps one on a hop. Great stop by Matt Williams from the grass, throws him out. The A's with a leadoff homer by Henderson have a run with the Giants coming up in the bottom of the first inning, and Mike Moore, who pitched very well in the second game, was the winning pitcher. 19-game winner during the regular season, and in postseason overall as well. 179 between the playoffs and the series, and 1-for-9 against Oakland. And he bunts up the first baseline. Moore fields and then throws the ball by McGwire. So Brett Butler, who has done that so often in his career, bunts his way aboard leading off. That's grounded to the left side. Weiss goes to Phillips 1 and then back to first, not in time. A little bit out of sync on a ball hit not that sharply. So Butler sliding in to make sure Phillips couldn't get everything on the throw back to La Russa. Dave Duncan. 2-1 to Clark. He's hit high in the air to right center field. Dave Henderson and Jose Canseco, and it's Henderson making the catch with Oberkfell retreating to first. So 2 down after Moore goes 2-0 on Clark. He comes back to get him. Kevin Mitchell hits a grounder to the left side, fielded by Lansford over to Phillips. And the Giants are done in the first. 1-0 Oakland.
Dave Parker. Bunch of guys. Bert Blyleven.
3-1 pitch is wrapped fair down the left field line and bouncing into the corner, and Henderson doing it again tonight. Last night a double and 2 homers, and tonight he starts with a double in the second inning.
Talking about tonight, he said, I won't know till I pitch.
In the air to right center field where Nixon comes over. Henderson is tagging, and Henderson is on his way to third, and the throw is cut off. It was offline, and Williams went over to cut it off. So Steinbach with a fly ball deep enough to Nixon.
Club. You can't win in both ways.
Now the infield plays in with Tony Phillips at the plate and 1 out. And he hits a ground ball to the second baseman, Litton, who looks the runner back, and they get a very big out. And that's a real big out, especially with no designated hitter. Now you've got in baseball.
With 11 career home runs. Now you go back when he hurt his shoulder, 1983, he hit over 300 with 9 home runs, 35 RBIs, playing. Has trouble with the thrown ball.
And it's hit in the air to center field, and Butler races back, and it's over his head. Henderson comes in to score. Weiss is being waved in. He scores on the first hit by an American League pitcher since 1979 in a World Series game.
series yet. They have been tied once the score. They were tied 1-1 in game 2.
And that's grounded to the hole for a base hit. Moore is being waved in by Laxman. Here comes Kevin Mitchell's throw to Kennedy. Not in time. Down to second goes Henderson, and it's 4-0.
Perfect pitch to the guy that hit the best average for the A's this year, and that's Lansford, and he walks him.
And that'll bring up Canseco. So the A's have runners at first and second. Canseco coming to the plate, and the crowd beginning to vent its frustration.
Sinker ball pitcher. In fact, a lot of people thought he would match up very well against the A's, keeping the ball down. Also throws the split finger.
Canseco hits a high bouncer to third, and losing it in the lights for the moment is over. It fell safe at first. Clark, though, is able to keep it near him, and Henderson has to remain at third. So a chopper
by Clark keeping the ball in front of him.
McGuire now hits a bouncer to short. Williams up with it, shovels to Litton, and the Giants limit the A's to 3 as they bat around and lead 4-0. And back we come after a word from our ABC stations.
So, as far as instinct is concerned, was Dick Grote. He was a slow runner, but an excellent runner.
And Williams wraps one into center field for a base hit. An 0-2 pitch and a single to center to start the second inning.
Yeah, 3 consecutive.
Then Litton, then Nixon, then the pitcher's spot. Little bouncer to the right side, and McGuire is right there to glove it. Step on the bag, and down to second goes Williams, and that one was very much according to Hoyle. Comebacker off the glove of Moore, who looks at third, has no play, settles for the out at first, and Williams able to advance. Had he fielded it cleanly, he would have thought about going to third.
Giants are on the board.
And consequently, you play a little bit shallower if you're an infielder.
Right.
Even with 2 strikes. Easier to hit it by him.
And he's gone on 3 pitches, and the Giants strand a runner at third. And we go to the third, 4-0 A's. High in the air and down the line into the left field corner. Mitchell giving chase, and Mitchell goes into foul territory, out of our view, but makes the catch.
Right near the fence.
Steinbach gets a bouncer that's bobbled by Litton, but he has time to throw him out. And that's when you thank whomever that it's a catcher who hit.
Keep the ball in front of him and still make the play. If that were to happen to a shortstop or a third baseman, no way to make the play.
Tony Phillips hits a high fly ball to right field. Drifting back is Nixon, but he has room and makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. Remains 4-0.
Think of Tony Fernandez with only 6 errors at shortstop. Of course, he plays on the turf, or Cal Ripken, who plays on grass, with 8. And even Ozzie made more errors than that this year.
His little bouncer off the plate, and Moore had trouble with the lights, but finds it and throws Lacasse out. So as was the case with Oberkfell, a ball game ending with 1 bank out last night. It's bounced through into right field for a base hit, and Brett Butler is 2 for 2 with a 1-out single here in the third inning. And maybe even more so in a situation like this, the Giants need something to get him stirred. The 2-2 pitch is lifted to left field. It's an easy play for Ricky Henderson, and Oberkfell becomes the second out. Butler is still at first base, and Will Clark is coming to the plate.
And in the National League, he's just chased 2 balls in the dirt because he cannot pick up the spin on that pitch.
Butler going, the pitch is up and away, and the throw gets him. And we go to the fourth, 4-0.
Clark could have singled me on in. If they pitch to him a little bit more carefully, then they have to pitch with Mitchell. Gets a 3-runner. We're back in the game.
Instead, the inning is over, and Weiss leads off the fourth with a fly ball to center. And Butler backs up to make the play. Lacoste has retired 5 in a row. And
Cool team.
Johnny was telling us before the game he played against his older brother.
ripped back into the glove of Lacoste.
Wow.
Parker may eventually lose his job as the DH the way this is going.
Totally patient, willing to walk because he knows he can steal second, so it's like a double.
Squibb to the right side, surrounded by Litton. He throws him out. Lacoste has set down 7 straight. And back we come to San Francisco after a word from our ABC stations.
A curveball. I haven't seen that in the 2 starts he's had, talking about Mike Moore, and then he throws me a 90+ fastball.
Little chopper to the right side, and McGuire fields it, makes the tag on Clark, and there's 1 away. So Kevin Mitchell will be coming to the plate.
Right on the number, as of all of the umpires. They've done a great job. They have not been the focus of this World Series.
And Mitchell swings and misses. Steinbach makes the tag. Mike Moore has his 2nd strikeout, and in 3 2/3 innings he has limited the Giants.
Happy to be compared with the Big Red Machine of the middle 70s.
And call strike 3. 3 strikeouts for Moore. Giants gone swiftly in the 4th. 4-0 Oakland.
To say about Carney Lance, we talked about that 336 batting average, especially in Oakland.
There's a grounder to 3rd. Oberkfell throws, and Will Clark is able to scoop it and get out of the way. 1 out. With Jose sitting in the front seat and Esther out there pumping gas. And he lines one to left field and in front of Mitchell, who was playing halfway to Marin County. A base hit for Canseco. Kevin was back near the warning track.
Canseco or McGuire.
To center field, Butler started back, now comes in, and in his tracks makes the catch. Canseco remains at first base, and with 2 down, it will bring up Dave Henderson. Whatever. Henderson stands back in. Canseco goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw is not in time. Despite being right on the money, Jose got a good break and winds up stealing second.
I think one of the reasons Jose got in there was Matt Williams wasn't on the bag.
And Henderson is on. So Lacoste, who came in the 2nd inning, issues his 2nd walk. And the batter will be Terry Steinbach. Rick Russell along with Scott Garrels. Russell. That's hit down the line in right field, and it's a base hit and more as Canseco comes in to score. Nixon still chasing it down. Henderson rounds 3rd. He comes in to score. The relay to 3rd is not in time there, and it is 6-0 on a triple by Steinbach.
There are not that many more categories in baseball.
Phillips hits one in the air to left field, racing over is Mitchell. That's over his head. Phillips has an extra base hit. 7-0 as Steinbach scores on a double by Tony Phillips. Recent years, for instance, the '76 Cincinnati Reds, the team that swept the Yankees in the World Series. In that 4-game sweep, the Reds had 17 extra base hits. The A's now have 19 extra base hits, which would be a record for a 4-game series.
Agent said, I'll tell you one thing, I am not going to let this club blow away in the wind. We're going to try to keep them together.
And Moore got on strikes, but the A's sent 8 men to the plate, score thrice, and lead 7-0.
Time.
Yes.
He snapped as he was unsnapping his shin guards.
Well, it has to be so bittersweet for a team like the Giants right now. As he lines it to left field, but even when they hit it hard, it's at people, and Henderson has trouble with the lights, but is able to gauge it and make the catch. This 11th day after those disastrous 15 seconds. A remarkable recovery continues. Fly ball to right field, but not deep enough, and Canseco makes the catch, and he too looks up at the lights. Bill Terry John McGraw. They didn't have numbers in those days. That's why there's no number on that. Christy Mathewson as well, as Dixon draws ball 4. And Bill Baith comes up to bat for Lacoste. But the most popular Giant, there's no question, in the history of the San Francisco Giants, Tony Gahn during that one season when Ken Hawk Harrelson had taken over as the general manager. Hit back through the middle, diving stop by Phillips. He goes to Weiss and he gets him. And it's been that kind of night and that kind of series for the Oakland A's. Night lost in the shuffle. Phillips last night became the first player in the that was lost in the shuffle. And also lost in the shuffle, Carney Lansford tied a World Series record held by several, scoring 4 runs in a game. Henderson, meanwhile, drills one to the gap in right center field, and the only question is double or triple. Well, there's 2, and he's on his way to third, and it's 3. And all Henderson needs for the cycle is a double. And then almost the same thing sort of happens in New York, and then he comes back. And Lansford hits it into center field, and that drops for a base hit, and Henderson will trot home, and it is 8-0 Oakland.
Dave Stewart's done that all year long. Did it in the playoffs, did it 2 times in the World Series.
In the air to left field, and playable for Kevin Mitchell as he comes over toward the bullpen and makes the catch in foul territory.
Yeah, but this would be an MVP for the World Series, and if Mike Moore continues and pitches a shutout, he will have actually pitched better than Stewart.
Documented throughout the World Series, he's just come up second best in the league, and he probably does to Saberhagen this year as well. So maybe everybody will say, as McGuire lines one into center, hey, the guy really deserves it. And it's not as if he's going to back into this award, but
no,
I think that's going to, that's something that's factored in.
Roger Craig, who said he's, a lot of people thought he may win a Cy Young award. That's
grandfather for the 8th time.
And down goes Henderson. So Downs comes out of the pen to take care of Henderson for the 2nd out. And Terry Steinbach comes to the plate. Is there a better night to clinch than the night you turn your clocks back an hour? I mean, you get an extra 60 minutes of celebration. I mean, that's when things are really going good. To Butler in center. And the A's pick up another in the 6th and lead it 8-0.
Minor leagues, 18 during the regular season. He's played shortstop pretty well.
Shattered bat, bouncer down to Phillips. 1 away, and Oberkfell will be the batter. Well, what's Moore been throwing tonight?
Second game, his first start. Stayed a lot of split fingers early, then went to the fastball.
Oberkfell grounds one to the left side, staying with it as Weiss straightens up and throws him out. 2 gone here in the 6th inning. Well, it happens so often in sports, even though you don't say it before the World Series, but you talk about it when you write your books over the winter. It is just good enough to get there when you win the pennant for the first time in 27 years. A 2-out single by Clark to right as he keeps the inning alive, and it brings up Kevin Mitchell. But it's something you see in sports. Well, the Giants, on one hand, they'll go home, as I say, with a very bittersweet feeling with a World Series loss as Mitchell cranks one to deep left field, and finally they have something to cheer about in Candlestick. The 2nd home run in the series for the Giants. Williams hitting one yesterday. That's grounded back of third. It's a fair ball. Lansford throws over to McGuire in time to get Williams, and the Giants finish in the 6th. They pick up 2, and it's 8-2 as we go to the 7th. Throwing in the bullpen, and so we'll see a pinch hitter coming up 3rd here in the 7th. Shallow left center, Williams out, Butler in, and look out, it's Matt Williams because he's taller. The A's next year, among other things, looking to draw 3 million people as Weiss hits a bouncer down to first. 2 down. And what better way to sell a lot of advanced season tickets? And
maybe going to Japan. There's a decision with a couple of young kids that may have to make.
Little pop-up back of the mound, and it's the shortstop Williams making the catch. So Downs is set down to 5. He's faced, and we go to the bottom of the 7th inning for that reason. Up to 2 runs on the 2-run blast by Mitchell in the 6th inning. And Kennedy is on.
Nelson, who struggled last night, only pitched 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 4 runs. I'll tell you what, he is very happy where he is.
That's hit to deep left field, and the Giants are trying to climb back into it. 8-4. Goes out and pulls for it, having trouble, but here comes Canseco, who had called him off and makes the catch. Sort of worked last night when that light bank went out. They'll do anything. That's hit in the air to right field and deep. Canseco going back, all the way back. That's off the fence, off his back, at his feet. Maldonado rounding second, on his way to third, in with a triple. Good success against left-handed pitching. 0-1 is wrapped into left field for a base hit. It's 8-5. Henderson can only knock it down. Butler on his way to second, in there.
A lot of room in third base. He wants to drop one down.
That's hit sharply, base hit into left center field. Butler had to go back towards second. Now being waved in, around third. It's 8-6.
He scores easily without a play.
Will Clark is the tying run. And it's hit high in the air to shallow right field. Canseco comes in underneath it and makes the catch, staying with him. Staggering for the moment under him. In the air to deep left field. Henderson going back, but has a play on the track. And the Giants come that close to tying it. To the 8th. Run, a single and a triple. The other time they got him on a balls, 2 strikes to count. Little squibber by the mound. Williams corrals it, has to hurry and gets it. 1 away. The Giants, the changers defensively here in the inning.
Manwaring with a double last night. He's on a hot streak.
That's grounded toward the hole. A great stop by Litton from his knees. Clark has to jump to come off the bag, and Lansford is safe.
The reliever went 10 innings winning 1-0.
Canseco walks on 4 pitches. So runners at first and second with 1 out, and Mark McGuire comes to the plate. The Oakland first baseman is 1 for 4. Over to third base and short. Bedrosian in the game, he hits in the 2-hole, and McGuire pops the first pitch up toward the Giant dugout. Kennedy comes back, has room, has it for the out. Runners tag but hold as Terry runs it back and holds on to it for the second out. he's lost his edge.
Yeah, well, you try to keep him sharp with the inter-squad games and stop that after some of the batters.
Fastball. But this is a fastball inside.
And they're loaded up. So ball 4, they're loaded up for Steinbach, who is 1 for 4 tonight. That one, a triple.
Going to do it again. At least it appears that.
Sure he is.
You know, he knows he's got to throw it over.
3-2 pitch to Steinbach is low to force in a run. And that makes it 9-6. And that's popped up in foul territory. And it might be playable. Going to be real close for Clark. And he makes the catch. I believe he does. Clark's going to come over to make sure. Yes! That's all you'll ever need to know about Will Clark. And that's a line drive into the glove of Phillips. So one down. Kennedy is the batter. Playing in the bullpen. Lifted to center. Dave Henderson. And 2 down. There is Eckersley. So the Giants in the air to right center field and playable for Dave Henderson as it backs up and makes the catch. So a 1-2-3 inning and on to the 9th in game 4. 9-6 A's. Just to elaborate, the way Clark was coming over, forget about plywood. He would have gone into concrete in that same fashion in that situation. That's a one-hopper right to Will, and he makes the play. 1 out.
That's a real good point because most of the time a first baseman, third baseman.
St. Louis, when George Brett went into the dugout to make that catch. Williams makes the catch, staying with it. So 2 down now in the 9th inning. Henderson coming up and looking ahead now for the Giants. 9 runs, 12 hits for Oakland. 6 runs, 9 hits for San Francisco. That's grounded to third, backhanded by Williams. So the Trojans shuts him down in the 9th, and here come the Giants, down by 3. The A's trying to clinch. So Dennis Eckersley comes into pitch. He has a 3-run lead, and of course, Mitchell. So here we go in the bottom of the 9th inning with Nixon to lead off. And tries to bunt his way on, and it's a good bunt to the right side, and Phillips shovels, gets him! Great play by Phillips, and McGuire with the presence to get back to cover at first base.
And going back to first base, slipped and almost didn't make it.
So the A's continue to do it in every phase. Power, hitting, running, defense. Pitching, of course. Fly ball to left field. Henderson makes the catch. And the Giants are now down to their final out. So you've got Butler coming up. And then you've got, after him, Sheridan, who's already out on deck. A's trying to sweep. But the Giants have certainly not made life easy for them tonight. That's a ground ball to the right side, speared by Phillips, flips to Eckersley. Yes, he's there in time, and the A's are the world champions.